Hi, it's me, Kevin from the internet, and today I'm bringing you the Ark Raiders news update. There's a lot to cover. We have duo matchmaking, store price adjustments, gameplay adjustments, server and hit reg fixes, and a lot of general bug fixes as well as UI updates. Today also marks the day with new content, a community event, unlocking a new map, new Ark, quests and items. Those will be covered in a separate video as this one is already getting too long. Let's get started with these patch notes. This one is really big. Reduced character movement latency on server to improve the desync problem, where it looks like you get damaged even after behind cover. I'm honestly so glad to already see this in the game. Like, the desync has been like quite a big issue for me playing PvP. It's really annoying when you get hit and you die behind walls and stuff. Or you're shooting at enemies and it looks like your shots are landing, but they really aren't because people aren't taking any damage. So hopefully this at least addresses some of that. It is good to see them already on top of this though. They fixed an issue which prevented players from completing quests. Fixed various achievements not working correctly. I don't honestly care about achievements, but you know, I know a lot of people do. So that's a good thing. Reduced delay between shooting at Ark and seeing impact effects on the target. This is also really nice because sometimes, especially when you're shooting Ark from far away, if the hit doesn't register or like it delays, then like you're gonna you start to second guess yourself, like, am I actually hitting the target or not? So like more immediate feedback is always gonna be better. They also fixed various locations where people could fall through the terrain. Up next, we have some balance changes to the Wolfpack grenade. The value is increased from 3k to 5k, and the crafting recipe has changed. This change was probably, like, you could feel it coming. And like, I already have the blueprint for the Wolfpack, but just looking at the old recipe, 2 refined explosives and 2 sensors, like that was so cheap for a pink grenade that, you know, like one of the best grenades in the game against the Ark at least. So it makes sense that they changed this. You can also now craft these motion cores more easily leading up into this change. Arc motion core and Arc circuitry. The unlock was at refined level 3, which is now refined level 2, which is pretty big. The crafting before used to take 6 Arc alloy and now it takes 8. I don't really mind this too much. Like, they make it easier to craft, but they make it like take a little bit more resources, and I think that's probably fair. The Arc alloys are really easy to get by, like to come by and to farm anyways. Like if you are killing a bunch of Arc and you make sure to loot the alloys, like you're gonna leave the raid with loads of them. So the launcher ammo is increased from 100 to 200 coins each. This doubles the trader cost for the launcher ammo, which is fine. Crafting now takes 4 metal parts and 1 refined explosives, compared to before 5 metal parts and 1 crude explosives. That's fair. All of these changes make sense to me, honestly. Spotter relay is changed, value from 5k to 2k. This is a bit of a bummer. Like, it was easy to, like, you know, to kill the spotters, and you know, you would have, like, if you pick up the relays, like you'll have a stack of like some valuable loot. Probably better in the long run. They reduce some of the XP per damage from 3 to 2 for the Bastion, Bombardier, Rocketeer, and the Leaper. I think that's probably also fair. Like, the Ark, when you kill the big Arks, like they used to give out so much XP. They probably still should, but not as much as they used to. Reduce the XP for looting Ark parts. Bastion from 500 to 250 and the Bombardier from 500 to 300. Increase the XP for looting Ark parts. Rocketeer Thruster from 200 to 500. Leaper leg from 200 to 500. Moving on to content and bug fixes. They fixed the achievements not working correctly. I've not noticed this myself, but I don't really care about achievements. Animation. Fixed an issue where weapons were automatically slung when throwing grenades. Fixed an issue where weapons were sometimes hidden when using deployables. Improved camera behavior to prevent clipping through walls and objects while jumping. Arc fireball enemies will no longer get stuck on security gates and will pursue the player accordingly. Fixed a bug where the surveyor's fleeing behavior could move it out of the playable area. I've not noticed this, but you know, it's a good change, I suppose. Fixed a bug which caused some of the enemies to take more fire damage than intended. I'm guessing they are aiming this at the Leaper, because the Leaper is just like when you throw a fire grenade, like a blaze grenade at it, like it just takes them down so quickly. So this is probably what they're changing here. What they mean with some enemies. I'm guessing it's pretty much for the Leaper, which should be interesting. And the system default option for voice chat input and output devices to follow your operating system's default. I thought that was already the case, but maybe not. I've not had any issues with the audio in this game. And I run my audio through Voice Meter. And some games, like, Helldivers 2, for example, had like I wasn't able to hear people in that game, and I think I don't even know if they even fixed it today, where like my voice chat in game was not working because like the game doesn't understand what voice meter is, which is, for those who don't know, voice meter is just a digital mixing panel pretty much for your audio. Anyway, it's nice to see that these guys are on top of these things, man. This one is also really big for me personally. Briefing audio has been adjusted for better balance between players with and without helmets. Briefing sounds are also less audible over distance. Like this with the helmets, man. I was actually complaining about this the other day, where I felt like some of the helmets in the game like are just so cool looking, and I want to run them, I want to equip them, but I refuse to put on a gas mask or like a closed visor helmet because of the breathing noises it made. And I was actually complaining about this the other day over on the stream. Go check it out if you haven't yet. It is so nice to see them like addressing these things so quickly. So maybe now I'll actually start running some helmets in the game. Added different audio effects to Scrappy while wearing various helmet cosmetics. Finally, this just made the game unplayable. I actually don't know what audio effects. Maybe like if you put a closed helmet on it, or like, I don't know. I go to Scrappy, I click claim loot, and I leave, and I say thank you. Cosmetics. Fixed an issue where party members would initially appear with the base appearance. I've noticed this when you're like teaming up with people and they drop in your like little lobby area. That's okay. That's fine. Fix some things on the maps, dam battlegrounds, locations in the dam where players could fall through the terrain, collision issues, locations in Buried City where players could fall through the terrain, various flickering and clipping issues in Buried City. Fix some locations where players could get stuck in the subway stations in Buried City. Spaceport sealed one of the rooms in Spaceport's departure building, making it require breaching to access. The loot inside was adjusted to fit the effort required to enter. This is a good thing. Like, I hope that they maybe buff the loot a little bit behind doors where you need to breach, or like key rooms and stuff. I know this is not about key rooms, it's just about like one specific breach room, but like I've entered a lot of breaching rooms where I felt like, I'm spending more time breaching the door than I am actually spending time in the actual room looting. And the loot that I get is like wires and crude explosives and just not really worth your time. So I hope that they address that in the future, maybe just like give us some more loot. Fixed an issue where certain doors could not be breached from the inside in the launch tower. On the blue gate, fixed an issue where players could get trapped in the blue gate control room. Fixed an issue with the hatches where successfully entering a raider hatch did not grant immunity to damage and knockback. That's a good thing. Increase the interaction distance for raider hatches. That's also a good thing, because you needed to get like on top of the thing to get the prompt to show up, which was kind of annoying. Alright, moving on to some more miscellaneous changes. Reduce the character movement latency on the server to improve the desync. We already covered that. That's big. That's huge. This should improve PvP a lot. Reduce the delay between shooting at arc and seeing impact effects on the target. That's nice. Adjust the blueprint drop rates from raider containers. So I'm not sure if this means more blueprint drops or less blueprint drops. I haven't really noticed the raider containers giving me like much more blueprints than other loot containers normally do. So like the blueprints seem pretty rare. I'm not sure if this means more or less from the raider containers, but time will tell, I guess. Interacting with probes, husks, raider caches, etc. now counts towards looting container objectives. That's good. Fix the bug where players would sometimes become unable to perform any action if they were downed while holding a carryable object and then revived. Alright. Fixed an issue where you could not loot or knock out dead but not out players on steep slopes. Field crafting selection now stays on the same item after crafting. Oh my god. They finally did it. They actually did it. Dude, this was doing my head in, man. When you want to like craft bandages or shield recharges in the raid, and like you have a bunch of materials, need to craft a couple, and like you click on the band, you have to scroll down, click on the bandage, then craft one, and then it defaults back to the top left item. Like, this is so nice. Movement, vaulting is now smoother. I wish my perks mattered, man. I went full mobility. I wish those make those perks do something, please. UI added an inventory item menu option for splitting stacks. Okay. Remove thumb mouse button from the escape action in menus to prevent unintended back navigation when that button is bound to push to talk. And I need to read that again. Remove thumb mouse button from the escape action in menus to prevent unintended back navigation when that button is bound to push to talk. Maybe I am just stupid, but I have genuinely no idea what the hell they mean with this. I hope some people are pleased about this. But I have genuinely no idea what the hell, like, what does this sentence even mean? Alright, moving on. If if anybody knows like what this means, feel free to let me know in the comments. Added a confirmation message after submitting a player report to clearly indicate that the report was received. Alright, that's good. Certain enemies' salvage items will no longer auto-assign the quick slots when looted. Example, Wasp Driver, preventing unwanted quick slot fills. That's nice. I have one to add though to the list. I'm not sure if it's maybe further down below. The rubber duckies are a trinket in the game. When you hover over them, it clearly says that they're a trinket. But if you are using the Looting Mark II backpack and you have those trinket slots, trying to drag those rubber duckies onto your trinket slots will not let you for reasons unknown to me. So, but hey, this is nice. This is a good start, I guess. Like, you know, they really need some UI updates, and I'm happy to see already we're like a week in, or like how long has it been? Like a week, 2 weeks. We're already seeing like content updates and whatever. Prevent showing block Discord users in the social screen. Change the styling of some UI input hints. Okay. Yeah, fix an issue where the blaze grenade trap could deal more damage than intended. I mean, it's a good change. I've seen the videos of people soloing the queen where they put one blaze grenade trap on it, and like that spread like wildfire in the community. And like I was joking to my mate, like, oh my god, it's time to farm. And by the time we logged on, they already removed the event from the game altogether. So we should be getting the event back now. And also it's good to see that they fixed the exploit with the blaze grenade trap, because it made no sense. Like it's stupid if you can just solo like one of the most difficult enemy in the game, and you know you only have to use one blaze grenade trap for it. Like that was just silly. So I'm glad to see that it's changed. I do have one thing to point out though, that the worst thing about this is the spelling mistake here. That is just inexcusable, because everybody knows that it should be not then but there. Somebody needs to go over this again. Reduce tick attachment time for the anti-tick field augment passive from 1 second to 0.5 seconds. That's good, because like I run this backpack quite a lot for the extra loot spots, and the moment you have a tick on you, which doesn't really happen that much, I've never had this passive kick in one time, because like the moment it happens, you're already holding down E to get rid of it. So fix an issue where a prompt would get stuck while fighting off ticks at the same time as the anti-tick field passive being active. Smoke clouds from items are now always visible at the same range as players. That's big. So now at least like if you throw down a smoke grenade and somebody sees you across the map and you throw down a smoke grenade, like they actually see the smoke, so you can actually hide from players. Fix an issue where the trigger grenade explosions could bypass the brief invulnerability when entering down but not out, causing instant elimination. Invulnerability now correctly applies on downing. Fix the bug allowing players to use a snap hook to get out of bounds in the spaceport bunker. Fix an issue where firing while standing close to walls could cause bullets to veer sideways instead of following the crosshair. This is so nice, because I thought it was I've had this actually happen before, and I thought it was just like a random MOA kind of thing, like an accuracy kind of thing on the weapon I was using. When my bullet just flew off to the left when I was trying to, like, I had a player lined up for a headshot. Bullet flew off to the left. I kind of put it away as an MOA issue, but turns out it's a bug, so that's good. Quest, fix an issue that prevented players from completing quests involving multiple objectives or item collections within a single round. The Greasing Her Palm quest in Spaceport now includes more thrusters that will complete the objective. Alright. Well, that's all for the patch today. Pretty big patch. Lots of new content. New map is coming. You have the community event thing. And also one thing I wanted to touch up on is the stuff that they posted earlier. Duo matchmaking and store update. November 12th. This is literally from yesterday. We have silently tested and enabled duo prioritized matchmaking beginning earlier this week. Duo matchmaking will work like this. First, we prioritize solos and squads to play separately. After that, we prioritize duos to play with other duos, and for trios to play with trios. Please note that this is not a 100% guaranteed system, so you may at times run into differing constellations of players rather than your own. I am so happy that they added this, because like most of the time when I either play solo or duo. Like it's hard to get like 3 people together at the same time. If you are looking for people to play with, by the way, join the Discord. But yeah, like trios is sometimes a bit of an awkward number. And most of the time it's duos for me, if I'm not playing solo. And duos was just such a pain, because like all the time you were running into like other 3-man teams. So like you're always outnumbered, always outgunned. And If you come up against like somewhat competent players, that means you'll probably always lose. I was asking about this, like, can we not have the same system that we use for solos when solos are prioritized to match with other solos? Can we not also have that for duos? And it turns out that we can, and they actually added it to the game, which is huge. And then also the store cosmetic prices have been adjusted. A bunch of cosmetic items have dropped in price, which is a good thing because some of these cosmetics were like legit like 20 euros or something, which is like half the game. And I think that's way too much for a game that you already paid money for. So yeah, that's all nice. And then they have some updates about the rated decks because people were unsure about like what the rated decks are gonna look like. So there's going to be separate rated decks. There's going to be a free one and a paid one. To help you along the way as a new raider, we have included some gameplay items in the free rated deck, which can be unlocked via progression. There are no pay-to-win items in the premium rated decks. The focus for premium decks are based on cosmetics and convenience. That's all for this one. Like and subscribe and check out my other content. Come say hi on the stream and join our Discord. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.